page. I know, but he can't January 5th. Why is everybody want the queen to die?
Everyone wants the queen to die on January 5th. Why? Is it because of the Simpsons thing?
Is it a Simpsons thing?
I think so.
Who fucking knows?
Are you recording already?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Are you recording?
Yeah. Ready?
3,
2.
1. That was fucking awesome.
There's no reason for us to do it, but we do it anyway.
But it works every single time.
It does work every single time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Right Angle Show. I'm your host, Right Angle, and I'm with my co-host,
Salmon McLovin.
Sal McLevin, and the other host is not here today, and his
He's
name
watching the Eagles game.
goes by the name of Joel Douthall. He's the Spider-Man with a silver lining on him.
As you can see by our new logo.
Our new awesome logo that I love a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
No, honestly, that logo took me way too long to finish.
How long did it take you?
When did you assign me this assignment? Teacher.
Maybe like a couple months ago.
Yeah, it probably took me 3 months to make, even though it really only... No, like, what I mean by, like, it took me 3 months to make, it meant, like, I did a lot of it and then stopped. And then I did the rest of it today.
Is it because, like, the application crashed and you lost your Iron Man helmet and you got mad?
Don't download Gravit Design. If you're looking for a free Adobe Illustrator cheap-ass program, do not download Gravit Design. It is ass and it will break your computer.
It will break the
If
computer.
you didn't save and the app crashes, you are going to be very angry.
You should just get the student account from Adobe.
Yeah, I got to ask my mom if she can do that for me. I'm not paying for that.
Gotta ask my mommy.
I do have to ask my mommy. Isn't it like half off or something like that?
Well, it's like $20 a month instead of like 50 or 60 or something.
That's like a Netflix account.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude, I don't want to talk about that. That was so stupid.
Do you have a story in the back?
That was so dumb.
Do you have a story in the background, the Netflix account thing?
My mom might have turned it off one day when I was in high school because I was watching it so much. Like, I forgot that I had data, and so I was watching it in class a lot, and then she turned off, like, my dad got really angry, and so he turned off my, like, the service, my Verizon wireless service on my phone.
He shut it off.
He shut it off for a month so I wouldn't go over the data.
Shut it off, Otto.
What do we got in front of our faces here today?
Well, Sam, today...
Did production costs go up?
The production cost went. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, our first podcast and our other ones that failed miserably, we originally had like one microphone that we had to share.
Oh, it was terrible.
And we had to bend over and talk to it now. Yeah. But now, with our higher production costs, we got multiple microphones.
We got mic stands.
We got mic
filters.
stands, mic arms, and mic stands for them. We got pop filters.
Well, like the reason why I'm really glad we have these, I'm relaxed. I can lay back in my chair and be
me too.
It's like super fucking relaxed. And I don't have to worry about like bending over to get really close to the mic or anything like that. And with these pop filters, it's great because our P's and S's don't sound really annoying. At least on mine, because I know you already had a pop filter.
I already had a pop filter, but no one listened to it yet. Yeah. It was from our failed podcast that we tried.
Right. When we mean our production costs went up, we spent about $40 combined on these arms, so $60 actually.
I had to order in Jolin's today, which is fine because we needed him to get so far he's the only one that doesn't have a proper stand for his mic. Yeah. So it would have he would have struggled a little bit. So yeah, no.
He got like the silver microphone, right? Which is like
he got the OG mic.
Well, like I hope the screw fits though. The thread that they give you.
The thread's possibly stuck in mine.
Yeah, well someone on Amazon was like, I have the original mic and the screw didn't fit.
Wait.
Oh, it ruined my varnish.
There's one that said it ruined my.
There's a review on Amazon when I bought this stand, and I would say the stand got mixed reviews because just I would run into 5 stars, 4 stars, and then 1 star because it ruined someone's varnish.
My varnish is ruined.
I was like, well, did the stand work? That's
why we have like covers over our things.
Yeah.
But
there's like this little screw. It's like a clamp basically. Then you clamp it on to any desk or like In this case, we have glass, and so we just put like a little piece of padding underneath of it so it won't scratch the glass.
Yeah. So, yeah. Gosh. Okay, I want to talk about something real quick. Genuinely.
What's that?
Now that we've watched it about like I think 3 times or 2 times.
Three times.
Into the Spiderverse.
That
Final
movie
thoughts.
is really fucking good.
I really like it.
Like the thing was, I've seen it 3 times now. I saw it once opening night. I saw it again with, or I saw it Friday, and then I saw it when we saw it like last week, right?
Yeah,
we saw it last week, and each time I saw it, I wasn't disappointed. Like I was still thoroughly like pumped, and the movie holds up. It held up well every single time.
But yeah, because sometimes we get an effect for a movie we watch multiple times, and then like throughout, like the more we watch, we're like
Marvel movies for me. I can't watch a Marvel movie more than twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an MCU film, just straight up. Any of them?
Any MCU film.
Iron Man?
Can't watch. Okay, that's different.
Captain America: First Avenger.
Okay. These are the movies that I can watch from time to time, multiple times. Okay. It's Winter Soldier.
I love Winter Soldier.
Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and if I'm in a good mood, Iron Man 3.
If I'm feeling good.
Iron Man 3 is pretty good, but Iron Man 1 and 2 are my favorites.
If you guys can tell, he's the Iron Man logo.
Yeah, they don't get Iron Man like I do. I have like Jolan gave me a cool like off-brand pop that I actually really like. It's made of metal. It's like straight metal. It's really nice.
Yeah, no, that's one of those metal.
And then he got me an Iron Man 3 art book, which is really fucking cool. But anyway, those are probably the only few movies I can watch. And Avengers 1, I can watch that a lot.
I'm talking about Captain America. The first Captain America. Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah, I would include that in my list. I think that's a really good movie.
I like
the thing about Marvel movies is that, in my opinion, they always have like this really big aha moment, and it's like stuck in your brain. So like
the plot twist of the giant aha plot twist,
and I basically watch a movie just to get to that plot twist. So watching all the other bullshit just to get to the climax of the movie is just not worth it, in my opinion. But Marvel movies are meant to be seen in a theater opening night in IMAX with a crowd of people.
That or Adobe.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm debating which one's better right now because Adobe has a big screen and also awesome audio, but IMAX does have a bigger, huger screen.
And I'm surprised that the AMC we went to didn't have Spiderverse in IMAX.
I know.
I don't know why they had machines, or what was it? What was the other movie Peter Jackson did? What is it called? Machines, Mortal Engines.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks weird.
Yeah,
didn't Jeremy Johns give it like an eh?
I heard that movie was okay at best. It wasn't that good.
Me too.
But no, Into the Spider-Verse, people are saying that it's the best Spider-Man movie. That's a very biased statement. I wouldn't say it's a
bold one.
It's a really bold one. I don't know why people say it's the best Spider-Man. I think it's really good compared to a lot of the other ones.
I think it's because I haven't seen a very, very true to form Spider-Man movie at all in theater.
You need to say what you wanted to say. What they got right in this movie.
Oh yeah, the thing I've been dying to say, but I couldn't want to share it.
Yeah, you could do it now.
Okay, so for a little backstory, every time I have an idea, I don't like sharing it. I tell them I have an idea, but I can't share it because I don't want to spoil it for the podcast because it brings up good points. Yeah. I wish Jolan was here because he'd be able to have a really in-depth conversation about this, but it's about the voice actor of Peter Benjamin Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man who went into the universe. I have such mixed opinions about his voice because outside of the theater, I'm like, he was all right. But when I watch the movie, I'm like, this is perfect. I love his voice.
He's funny. He's really funny in this movie.
Yeah, well, the guy's a comedian.
Yeah.
I keep on fucking... Okay, all of you at home, I'm not used to a mic being in my face, so I accidentally punched the...
Well, after I've been streaming, even though I don't get anybody watching my stream.
Oh yeah, guys, shout out.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name.
This is a shout out to what's your Twitch?
It's Hugging Backwards. Right now I'm just playing Red Dead. I'm trying to finish the game. Great game so far, by the way. But Hugging Backwards, I stream whenever I can, whenever I have a chance. But I've been streaming for a little while with the stand and the mic. It's so nice. It's so nice.
So good.
I can sit back. I can actually sit back in my desk chair and like roll my desk chair back a little bit so I can kind of like this. So the screen's not like right in my face, and it's wonderful. I love it.
I got sidetracked by the way by the voice actor. Sorry. No, okay. So sometimes he does like a fantastic job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which no, okay, it's hard to describe. In the when I watch the movie, he's awesome. But then when I leave the theater, like I'm like, oh, he's great. But then like when time sets in, I'm like, he's all right. Then I watch the movie again. I'm like, he's awesome. And then I leave the theater, and after a bit of time, I'm like, he's all right. It's like an on-off thing.
It's like in the moment type thing.
I guess so, because like I don't know. Okay, well, to be fair, when I first watched the trailer, I was not.
I'm gonna say this right now, and people are gonna hate me for this. That's how I kind of feel about Tom Holland.
Really?
Yeah.
Want to get into it in a second?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll finish my statement real quick, then I'll totally get into this. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Okay, so yeah, no. Okay, moral of the story is when I first watched the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse, I was not all in on the 40 years of cigarette smoking sounding Spider-Man.
I can kind of see that.
But then, like, once I saw him in action in the movie and talking and interacting, I'm like, I loved it. I thought he was perfect.
I think that's just also how the actor talks too, and
that's how he talks.
And I think it works well with him because he's old Spider-Man a little bit.
Yeah, he's like
pushing
in his 40s.
30. Is he?
Yeah, he's like in his 40s.
Really? Wow. Okay. Not mine then.
Wrong.
And that's supposed to be like the Amazing Spider-Man. Like from the
that's supposed to be the Amazing Spider-Man.
And then the blonde guy is the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes. Okay. What they do,
I got so confused when I watched
think in the movie to avoid confusion is that they made the Ultimate Spider-Man blonde for people won't get too confused.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. He's not blonde in Ultimate, is he?
No.
No. Okay, that's what I thought. Well. The movie is awesome. The jokes were never a hit or miss. They were always a hit for me. And what really shook me in this movie was how real it got. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, talking like there's like
I thought this was I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see this movie. It's gonna be a
before
kids
you say anything. This portion may contain some spoilers.
Okay.
Are you gonna spoil it, or are you gonna reserve yourself?
I'll try and keep it.
Do you want to say the spoilers to the end of the podcast?
What?
We want to say spoiler discussion till the end of the podcast?
Yeah, we can do that. It'll be like a bonus.
Yeah, we'll end. We'll near the tail end of the podcast. We'll do the outro and then we'll get into spoilers.
I'm just gonna say how keep in mind I went into this movie low expectations like I do with a lot of movies I see. Like when I see a lot of trailers, and I'd always try and watch like only one trailer, and I try not to watch any of the other ones that they release.
Just enough to tease you, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And also when movies do that, they generate a lot of hype, and then you have big expectations for the movie, and then you go see it, and it's like, oh, this movie's actually kind of bad. I don't know why I had such high expectations for it. So I went to this movie, I was like, okay, I know Rob is hyped for this movie. It's gonna get me hyped. Landon's hyped for this movie. It's also gonna get me hyped. Try to bring it down, have low expectations. I'm gonna see this as a kid's movie. It's just gonna be a kid's Spider-Man movie. It's gonna be like, it's not even gonna be that impressive. And I went to go see it, and it just blew me out of the water.
Yeah, but your expectation was so low, it blew you.
Exactly, and I feel like that's how I go into seeing a lot of movies like that. With Halloween, which is probably one of my favorite horror movies this year.
That's probably one of my favorite movies of 2018 period.
It's so
not
good,
gonna lie.
And I had low expectations for that movie. I was like, all the other Halloween movies have had a bad rap.
Yeah, after the first one, it kind of went down.
And I saw it, and it was like, this movie's actually really good. But Into the Spider-Verse, it gets real at some moments. I was really surprised, and it's so hard not to spoil anything. Mm-hmm. But this is not really a spoiler. So there's a scene where Miles' dad and him are talking, and it's basically the Uncle Ben moment. You know what I mean?
Oh,
where
yeah.
He's like, I am Spider-Man.
When he gives that pep talk kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole montage that just builds up to the end, or builds up to the main fight scene, the climax of the movie, and it just it doesn't drop.
That was an emotional talk.
It was. I know, it was so good. Also, I love Sony and their homages in the beginning to all the old Spider-Man.
There's a bunch of homages to. Not even like the Raimi trilogy. There's homages to like almost all the films, and except for Amazing, which I probably know why.
I'm kind of sad about that though.
Well, Andrew and them had a bit of a bad tussle. I'll explain.
I think Andrew was a good Spider-Man.
If you want me to explain why, I will. But there's also like references to like the TV shows and. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Disney has the worst Spider-Man TV show I've ever seen.
Disney's
it's really bad.
Marvel Spider-Man.
It's really bad. Spectacular Spider-Man's. That's a really good.
Speaking of Disney and MCU, you didn't say it. And Spider-Man, you said something about Tom Holland's an on and off Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I have a love-hate relationship for Marvel. I think what Kevin Feige does, he does right. When you see it for the movie for the first time, you're like, oh, he did everything right. But Tom Holland in my eyes is, when I see him on screen, I'm always excited. When I saw him for Homecoming, I was really pumped. I thought he did an amazing job as playing Spider-Man. Peter Parker, I think he did all right. But just Homecoming to me, it didn't feel like the Spider-Man movie I was expecting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then came Infinity War, and I saw him put on the mask, and he was still wearing his like school uniform, and he swung down. I was like, that's what Spider-Man would do. That's really cool. And then he was fighting with Iron Man. I was like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. Iron Man and Spider-Man are finally fighting together. This is so fucking awesome. And they're fighting this big alien. And then he put in the Iron Spider suit. I was like, this is so cool. But then I leave the theater, and I'm like, it's so hard to see Tom Holland. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan of Tom Holland.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like, I have mixed opinions about Tom Holland. I have huge gripes over Homecoming, but Homecoming for me is in a weird, awkward position because, okay, so I might as well start the spew later. And yes, we are going to have it, like I said in the last one, we are going to have a dedicated podcast to debating this because it's going to probably take an entire podcast to debate Homecoming. But okay,
we're basically going to break down the movie.
Yeah, Homecoming for me was a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to
First time I saw it was awesome.
Because here's the thing. Homecoming to me does have I crap on it a lot, but it does I do believe it. I can't do that 100% because I do believe there are really good parts in it. Mm-hmm. And I do believe I have to give it huge kudos because that's the movie that because I used to be a huge Deadpool fan.
Thanks, Disney.
And then I jumped ship to Spider-Man, and that was the movie that officially pushed me off the ledge and be like, Spider-Man is the greatest. So well,
you still like Deadpool.
I'm not saying Deadpool's good. Well, I like Deadpool.
I think in the cinema world, it's not.
Oh, Deadpool 2 is kind of disappointing everyone. And but I don't know, it's how to describe it. I love the comics are dropping off for me. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to the movie,
it's so
Deadpool 1 could keep me on board, but for so long. I love that movie. It's probably my favorite movies of all time.
I think that's a movie you can watch once a year. And be like, this is still a really good movie.
I used to watch it constantly. It's great.
Watch it
but that's another thing it has on its side though. It's a short movie. It's about an hour and 30 minutes long.
But I think that's good for a Deadpool movie.
Oh, it's great.
I don't think you should ever make Deadpool 2. I actually like Deadpool 2. But I don't think it needed to be 2 hours.
I thought it was all right. I don't know. I have to rewatch it again and think about it.
The jokes were definitely hit or miss sometimes.
But Homecoming. When I first watched it, Jolan / Lan had good opinion on it too because he I can't speak for him, but I'll say
he has really good opinions about Spider-Man.
Well, I'll say roughly he said how he first watched it and was like, oh my God, Disney did it. They did it again. They made the best Spider-Man. But then when he went home, apparently he felt like something was off. You know that feeling when you watch something, you're like, something's off, but I can't put my finger on it?
Yes.
Then he watched it again.
That's me.
And it gets worse the more he watches it. And
that's me in Marvel completely.
I'm not going to speak for Lan because Lan can speak for himself when he gets back here. But yeah, he essentially said the more he watched it, the more he nitpicked the hell out of it. And the more he realized it's kind of flawed. It took me a while because, to be fair, I was actually kind of a Homecoming fanboy till
you were.
Till about when was it?
To be fair, our friend Willie Foreskin is he's a huge Tom Holland fan.
He's a pretty big Tom
Which I'm not going to say anything bad about. It's fine. You like who you like.
I don't care who anyone likes. I hate, here's my problem.
I hate people who say Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man.
No, I don't hate them for saying that. I hate people who claim something and then someone says something different and they get really ass hurt about. Someone says
that's fair.
I'll do both roles because this is a big problem, I guess, in the community right now. If a Tom Hollander says, I love Tom Holland, and then someone says, I like Toby better, they'll be like, get your nostalgic ass out of the clouds. Yeah. Tom Holland's the best.
It's or like it can go reverse. They're rejecting your opinion.
Basically. It can go reverse.
They're saying your opinion is wrong. And that's just not true.
They almost like attack each other's opinions. And that's another problem that kind of killed Homecoming a little bit for me is how toxic the community can be sometimes. Not I'm not going to throw everyone under the bus for that. But sometimes it can be really, really toxic and be like, he's the greatest Spider-Man no matter what you say. And then they like start these huge arguments about it. I'm like, guys, it's just a comic character.
And I mean,
I love it to death, but
there's also I'm like comparing Into the Spider-Verse. What I like Into the Spider-Verse was what they did is that Miles didn't understand his powers for a lot of the movie. And I actually like that because like the other Spider-Man actually filled in like the Spider-Man sequences and the battles.
Yeah.
But Miles didn't really understand how to use and control his powers, which not a lot of Spider-Man movies do that.
Even the Tobey Maguire ones, they had his origin story, but he kind of went right to it, you know what I mean? Because he, like, when he saw, I can stick to things, he just climbed a wall, like normal.
But the thing about the Tobey Maguire and what, in my opinion, like how I see it's a very theatrical form of Spider-Man. It's like like even Sam Raimi, he's like, this is the human version of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like still, I feel like what they did with the Spider-Verse when it comes to Spider-Man getting his powers was better because I like how they showed Miles can't control what he's sticking and he's like freaking out. He's like, let go, please let go.
And he doesn't know how to do
it. Yeah, and like to the point where like a lot of times he would just force himself off it and there'd be some like crumbs of like rock and stuff stuck on his fingertips.
That was cool. And the hair.
And hair.
That was really cool.
So yeah, I thought that was really, really cool how they tackled that and how he doesn't know, like even when he, spoilers, a little, not light spoilers, when he punched the rock, when he got mad, he was like, and he punched the rock and the rock split in half. And he was like, that's new.
Yeah.
I thought that was really
cool
too.
That shouldn't be a spoiler.
But, and I like even when Peter had to tell him to relax, to like let go. It was like, just relax.
He's like, dude, I've been doing this for so long.
He had to teach him how to do it. But going back to, I'm going to make a 360 back to Homecoming real quick.
Well, like, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I got really worried because I thought what Sony was going to do is like, when the never mind, that's actually kind of a spoiler. You go ahead and say your thing. I can't say it. I wish I could say it, but it's kind of a spoiler.
Okay. No, okay. I have a problem with Homecoming. Now I'm going to start way back where I started. I used to be a Homecoming fanboy for a while, which is fine. Nothing wrong with being a Homecoming fanboy. I still like Homecoming. I enjoy it. But it does have flaws. Like
most Marvel movies.
Big one that everyone points out, which is pretty true, is how even Tom Holland said in the interview, he'd rather... he said something about being Iron Boy Jr. or Iron Boy. Or no, he said Iron Man Jr. Sorry, he said Iron Man Jr. Here's the thing. You're not Iron Man Jr., you're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be Iron Man's sidekick, all right? You're supposed to be your own sale. I don't mind if Iron Man helps. That's cool in my opinion. But like if
he provides him with the suit, which I kind of like.
What?
Tony Stark provides him with
the
suit.
You like that?
I like that.
I don't like it.
Really?
I don't like it because it takes away his smartness. Like, sure.
Well, no, it just doesn't make sense for me to like, I just found all these materials and I made this perfect suit. It's just like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, like even in the Stan Lee, because I listened to this, it's a totally crap. It's a Spider-Man rock album that came out and Stan Lee used to monitor it. And he even highlighted that he said, only a science major can make a suit thin enough to put underneath clothing. Only he can make web shooters when shot. He was describing it. I'm like, he even highlighted that he made his own suit because only a science major could do this. Well, I like it because
this is also the MCU too.
Well, yeah, I don't mind if. Here's the thing, I'm gonna say a couple things I did like about the suit, and things I don't like about the suit at all. Here's some big pros. I do love the eyes.
So good.
Because in the comics, he expresses with his eyes.
It's such a good excuse to have the expressive eyes.
Yeah, how he is like mechanical. I like that. They even inherited that in the PS4 version.
Very cool.
As how he's like, mechanical eyes. I like that a lot. And I think that's about it.
What?
I think that's about it. Okay, here, let me explain my cons and maybe I can find some pros in it. Here's a big one. It's a huge one and I don't like it at all. Karen. The AI.
Yeah, I don't know why they added in that.
Because that makes Spider-Man, who's supposed to be
Iron Man,
who's supposed to be one of the most smartest people. Like, he's supposed to be way smarter than Iron Man. He's supposed to be one of the smartest people in like the Marvel universe. And he got his hand held by an AI robot. But their excuse of why they added it sounds good on paper, but on practice, I was like, yeah, no, I don't think so, Daddy. Because, okay, so here's the thing, right? So they said the reason why they added it is because Spider-Man talks to himself when he's I did the same thing. Spider-Man talks to himself when he's swinging through the city and stuff like that. He always talks. There's the little bubble thought where he talks to himself.
So the Karen was
supposed to be the response of he's talking to himself because he's talking to an in-suit AI, which on paper sounds all right, but then I'm like, the kind ruins the character for me because he was like, Karen, how do I save the day? And she was like, do this. Like, okay, I'll do that. Like,
that's an Iron Man thing.
Yeah, like even Karen's like, Karen's, where's the strongest points? I'm like, I feel like Spider-Man in that moment when the ship was breaking apart needs to be like, I need to think on my toes. And he's like, I remember, where's the strongest points? It's like, it must be here. It makes sense physically. You know what I mean? Like, because of physics, something like that. You know what I mean?
That is kind of stupid.
Because like Karen is like the God mode of his suit because it tells him everything. Web grenade and stuff like that. Like, okay, because here's why I can argue that. Like, taser web. I hate that. Because Spider-Man PS4, he made that himself. He took a taser and made it into a taser web.
What was really cool about Spider-Man PS4 is like there's an actual mission where you have to go find your backpack in the garbage. And it's all the stuff that he made.
That he made. Quote me on that. He made.
Yeah.
In his gear. It's not like Tony's Daddy Stark made it all for him.
It was just, I also think that Iron Man was an excuse to make more money because if people are like, oh, Spider-Man, Iron Man, I gotta see the movie now. Like, Iron Man's gonna be in the movie. Iron Man's only in like less than a third of the movie.
He's barely in it at all.
Yeah. Like, which makes me sad because I'm an Iron Man fan. But also, I didn't want like Tony Stark to steal Spider-Man's spotlight
in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
If Spider-Man even had a spotlight in that movie.
I will be fair though.
Movie had a really good twist though.
It had a great twist. I
did not see that coming, so I'll give the movie that. I think it's a decent Spider-Man movie, but I think now that I've heard your points, I totally agree with you.
I'm in a weird position because I think it's a great movie. It's a bad Spider-Man movie. Because even more, I'll bring up some more points. Yeah. He didn't become Spider-Man till the end of the movie. And people argue, well, that's the whole arc of the movie. I'm like, okay.
No,
but that means 3/4 of the film, he was Iron Boy Jr., and then in the end, he was Spider-Man. Because in the end, all of his technology was taken away from him, and he had a suit and web shooters and his brain and Ned, at best. That's it.
I feel like that should have just been Spider-Man the whole time.
I know. Well, because that was great.
Also, he had his powers for 6 months, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's how I think
whatever
the MCU timeline is.
I think it's like 7 or 8 months, 7, 8, 9. Because like he had it for 6 months, I think in Civil War, and it's like 2 months later or something. 3 months later? I think it's about a year. He's been Spider-Man for almost a year, I think. But
I don't know. That just seems like the amount of time that you'd figure out I am Spider-Man.
Well, here's the thing too. If they would have done this, it would have fixed a lot of my problems about the tech suit, Stark tech suit. And don't anyone get me wrong. I actually really like the look of the Stark tech suit. I don't think it's the best, but I really think
it feels like a comic book suit.
Yeah.
Almost.
I think the best suit, in my opinion, I'll always stand by is the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It looks like ripped straight from the comics.
Iron Spider suit. I love that suit. That suit in PS4 is real. That's probably my second favorite Spider-Man suit.
The Iron Spider.
They fucking got it right because they actually have the lights on it. Yeah. On his palms, his feet, and his chest.
Like the comic one.
I know that really pissed me off in
Infinity
War. They did it so fucking wrong. I know that's a bold statement, like that. But as an Iron Man fan, that really pisses me off.
I understand that, but like, okay. So here's my problem. Right? I'm gonna break it down some. Homecoming, right? If you noticed, his bullshit suit of invincibility didn't kick in till Ned found the training wheels protocol of the suit. Because the whole time in the movie, it was just him. At best, the suit had the eye thing and the chest thing where it morphs to his body and the web shooters. That's all the technology he was given.
Yeah.
And beyond that, he had to think for himself. He had to be Spider-Man. And he had one setting on the web shooters.
After that.
What?
Then he got God mode.
Yeah, because he found the thing and then he was like, turn it off. And then he got Ned to turn it off. I would have loved if the twist was this. If they really wanted to get the excuse like, well, Spider-Man needs to talk to someone. Well, I would have loved the excuse for Ned, as he said a lot of times in the movie, to be the guy in the chair. Imagine instead of the AI, it being Ned.
That'd be pretty cool.
He talks to Ned through like radio.
Ned's like, hey, you should do this. Infiltrate that building.
Because remember, Ned was really smart. Like, remember in the end of the movie, Ned
it would be two geniuses.
Yeah, remember how Ned in the end of the film found like the warehouse? Like, oh, he's going to that warehouse with like that thing. You know, when he was the guy in the chair. He was like, where's the tracker say, Ned? And we were like, it says it's and like, you know, and he reads it off. He was like, all right, I'm on my way there. And it's like all him though. And even like inside the facility, he should like lost connection with Ned. And then have to like have like a watch, like an in-store watch, like, oh my god, the Decathlon suit, and then he can hack it himself.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. No, I totally see. That actually sounds more interesting to me than Karen. Karen's a bitch.
I think Karen's a huge problem, and then that's like a.
I think the reason they put Karen in this is because Iron Man has Friday now.
Oh yeah, he has an AI, so
and Jarvis is dead.
Yeah, I think Jarvis is dead.
So he has Friday, and he talks to Friday. He's like, "Oh, well, Spider-Man needs someone to talk to. Let's put in Karen." Like, I can get that from Iron Man's point of view. So, I don't know. Now that you said that, I kind of agree with you that the Iron Man making a suit is kind of stupid. If Iron Man supplied him with materials to make a suit, that'd be different.
I would have liked
because he already knows he's Peter Parker. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? So like, Okay, here's the thing though. What I did like, I'm gonna go back to Homecoming a second. In Avengers: Infinity War, he wasn't chatting up with Karen. He was still by himself.
Where did Karen go?
Yeah, they didn't use her, which is great. And he didn't use like takes her web or he may have, but like, I'm talking about like the beginning scene with his regular original suit.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. The power went out. But okay, back to Homecoming real quick. Here's the number one problem in Homecoming. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take out my phone.
It's on the table.
Because I don't know where I put it.
Did it fall between your legs?
Because I have notes. This is from a YouTube comment from a video. Because this video is being bold, and his opinion was Spider-Man from the Tobey Maguire series is not an active protagonist. But
I was gonna say something actually. Ever since a few months ago, like over the summer, I've seen more and more videos shitting on Homecoming.
Well, people are starting to realize that it's not as great as. Here's the thing: I don't mind.
I think it's a decent movie.
Homecoming. I like Homecoming actually. I like it a lot. That's why I said like all around, minus my harsh criticism, I do have to give Homecoming my maximum respect because it is the movie that transferred me over to be a Spider-Man fan anyway.
Yeah.
But I am mature enough to know.
I think Jolan can agree to some point. I know he doesn't like the movie, but I think he can agree that's like this was a decent MCU Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the best. But.
I'm not going to single out. Right now, I'm going to single out Homecoming right now, but I'm not going to see I think there's big problems with the Tobey Maguire series and Andrew Garfield. I can pick those to hell. Oh, yeah. Just nitpick because this is all nitpicking anyway.
But I think overall, when you're watching,
I made a lot of people angry by saying that.
Like, hey, this is a really good Spider-Man movie. It's like worth it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's my number one biggest problem with Homecoming, though. I only listened to a couple of them.
I'm excited to hear this.
The lack of consequences.
That we have talked about.
There is no consequences in the film. He almost gets a jail free card every time, except for when he lost his suit.
The only consequence was that he got his suit taken away.
That's the only big consequence.
Even that's not big of a deal because he has a backup suit and plenty of web fluid.
He was gone for like 3 days without calling Aunt May or anything. And he went home, and she was mad at first.
I lost the job.
Yeah, then she's like, I lost a Stark injury. Oh, why? What happened? I'm like, did you completely forget that your darling all but son has been missing for 3 days?
Yeah.
And he called every police station. Did you forget about that? And he's been sneaking out. I want you to be a little more. And also, okay, here's another big one: the Decathlon. He totally missed the Decathlon. Like, oh no, Peter missed the Decathlon. Guess what? Nothing happened. They still won.
They didn't even hate him.
He didn't have to be there. You know what I mean? He didn't even have to be there as Spider-Man or regular Peter Parker because they still won.
They still won. I think it would have been better if they fucking lost.
Well, Jolan brought up this idea, which is a great idea in the film. That would have been awesome and would have actually brought some consequence. Was this the part in the beginning of the film when they're like, do you remember when they're practicing for it and the gym? It's like the very beginning. It's right before Peter does his first like Spider-Man swing around, like first patrol in the film.
He's in the gym.
He's like, I think he's in like a gym or something. I don't know where he is.
Is he doing sit-ups?
No, it's the auditorium. It's when they're practicing, doing the practice questions.
Yeah.
It's like, I got the Stark internship. I can't go. Well, Jolan brought the idea of like during that practice, there should be a question that no one can answer correctly except for Peter. Like he knows the answer to that one question.
It's foreshadowing.
Yeah, and then when
the question that they ask at the
end, then when
MJ's like 0.
When he misses the decathlon, the question should have been the question that Peter knew, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, where's Peter?" And then guess what? They lost the decathlon, and it's on him. So because the whole arc of Spider-Man is, he saved the day, but he still gets shit on because he couldn't do his other responsibility.
Also, I want to say I don't know why they. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I really like Zendaya. She's very pretty. I think some of her movies are really good. Like the Great Showman. She did a really wonderful job in that movie. But I don't understand why they made MJ super smart.
How do you mean?
She's the one who answered the final question in the decathlon.
That is true. Well, it's weird. She's not necessarily Mary Jane. She's MJ, but her name was Michelle.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought her name was Mary Jane.
No, her name was Michelle.
That fucking confuses me so hard because they were like, my name's MJ at the end of the movie.
Well, I think like that's their version of MJ, which kind of sucks because I kind of want to see. We haven't seen a ginger MJ, like a regular Mary Jane Watson. Ginger. Jesus, we haven't seen a regular Mary Jane Watson since Spider-Man: The Original Trilogy.
We really haven't. Kirsten Dunst. I kind of see why Kirsten Dunst said her statement now when she said the trilogies will never be beaten by the MCU or something like that.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she shit on Homecoming.
Well, I know she shit on Homecoming because like she like said how like they're just banking off the name of Spider-Man, which technically they are. It makes money.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
But I mean like.
But trilogy wasn't doing the same.
I mean, yeah, it was doing the same. I don't think she understands logic.
I don't know. Kirsten Dunst is a...
I'm gonna read this YouTube comment. I'm sorry, I don't know the YouTuber, but I'm gonna read this entire comment the best I can. I can't read sometimes. He said this. A lot of the consequences, this is a response to this video. A lot of the consequences you speak of in Homecoming seem to be pretty tamed. The problem is that the film doesn't show us those consequences, but merely implies them and then forgets about them. He gets a telling off from Iron Man, sure, but when he abandons Ned at the party, it's forgotten about Ned, and Ned doesn't seem to mind. Because remember? He abandoned Ned at the party and like, beginning the film.
The pizza shirt and like he was taking off the pizza
shirt. Yeah, and he left
like,
to become because he had the Spider-Man responsibility to do, but he left Ned for dead at the party. And even in the movie, he was like, "Hey, thanks for ditching me last night." Like that was a good moment to start some chaos between them. But then
he had that fucking alien.
Yeah, and they're like, "I was kind of busy," and they showed the alien attack. Like, "Whoa, what's that?" And then he immediately like, "I forgot about why I was mad at Peter." I'm like, "That okay? Well, at best he got like told." Thanks a lot, and then either way, it worked fine.
How does that connect too? Because the whole point of Spider-Man was to swing in the party and piss off, or get
to show that he was friends with Spider-Man and all.
Yeah, that. To show up to Flash. Also, Flash, I kind of agree.
Well, because remember, he was prepared to. Because even Ned was looking like an idiot looking around and trying to find Peter. Yeah. And Peter was staring down at him. He was like, this is stupid. Like, he was like, he didn't know what to do. And then an explosion went off. And he was like, what's that? And then he was like, I got to be Spider-Man. Which is fine. That's a great Spider-Man moment. He's like, I have a responsibility to do. I got to go get it. Yeah. So he went and left. But he left Ned for dead at the party.
Yeah.
He even referenced, thanks for ditching me at the party last night. But then, like, after that, he completely forgets about it. Like he never is spiteful to Peter at all for leaving him for dead at this popular kid's party.
It's kind of it's just weird. Because I'm trying to find what am I trying to say? So like I'm trying to be in Ned's shoes right now.
Yeah.
Going to school and seeing your best friend again.
Imagine
your best friend comes with a fucking alien gym. But you're like, hey, thanks for ditching me at the party, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but here's this alien gem I found. Whoa, that's really cool. And then I'm just trying to think, like, does the alien gem trump ditching your friend at the party?
Yeah.
It's so hard to, like...
There's a weird, like, gray area there. That's not the only example. Let me bust up.
I wouldn't say that's the best example, but...
Yeah.
It should be in there.
And he says, when he abandoned this, we already did this, abandons the Capelon. When he shows up at Aunt May's, like, 3 days later without calling, she doesn't ground him. When he accidentally blows up the sandwich place, the guy and even his cat are safe and sound.
And they don't, and he doesn't even yell at him.
That's another one. Like, if they want to put some emotional oomph in it, they should at least kill the cat. You know what I mean? Like when that happened.
No, I think they should have just killed the fucking owner.
Yeah, they should have killed the owner. I mean, I loved him. I thought he was a great guy.
But that's a reason to kill him.
That would have been a great Spider-Man moment because like this guy's awesome. And then guess what? Really that's on. Well, because even Tony Stark pointed out like if someone would have been killed, that's on you. He already said that to him.
And Tony said if anyone died, there should have been someone that died on that boat.
Someone should have been like
someone that Peter should have known on that boat should have died. Or fuck, he didn't even have to know him.
Or get hurt really bad.
Like 1 or 2 or 3
or even
people
like
died.
The guy there may not even have to be killed. He may be like crippling injured, and then he would still like feel bad. He would be like, "Oh, that's my fault. I should have stopped that." And that would have brought in the Spider-Man.
Tony should be like, "You know how many people died on that boat? All because of you."
You know, in Hiroshima, that was on you.
But Tony, it's 2018.
He still always remembers that. Oh God!
Jesus
All right.
Christ.
And he said the film gets the first part right, where his actions gave away to personal suggestions, but the movie never seems to have the guts to punish him for them. No one loses their faith in him. No friends tell him to fuck off. We never get an idea of what the school makes of him after his absence at the party, since the only guy to insult him was Flash. One guy in a group of nerds. Heck, even Liz wishes him well after he left her at the dance. That's a big one too.
Yeah, Liz kind of like still talk to him after that, even when at the end of the movie.
And she was like kind of best like
she could have been just like fuck off.
Like, I can't believe you did this. I was so embarrassed.
Hold on, let me look up the director for Spider-Man.
Homecoming?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? John Watts. Look up John Watts.
John Watts.
He said, and I quote, "Peter Parker hates being Peter Parker, but he loves being Spider-Man." And that was one of the biggest misquotes I've ever heard.
Because I don't think he hates being Peter Parker.
No, he hates being Spider-Man. Because at first, Spider-Man's awesome for him. But then he realizes how much weight that carries. Because imagine to yourself now.
When I looked up John Watts, I think I spelled it wrong. I got former U.S. representative. Some old fart.
Okay, I was throwing this out again. Scenario 6, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, say you're Spider-Man in the scenario.
Yeah.
I was throwing it out to you again. You're on a date. Yeah, like 5 minutes to get there. She's really hot. You know what I mean? Like, she's great. She looks great, and you're looking pretty good. And you're like, I'm feeling good about myself, right?
And let's say 3 cop cars pass by.
But no, she's like, okay, 3 cops, and they have a bomb, right? It's like a terrorist or something. Well, you gotta stop them as Spider-Man, and you don't want to, because if you do it, you're gonna miss the date.
And guess what movie got that right? Into the Spider-Verse.
And Spider-Verse did a great job at it.
What was that? No, they did it fucking right because they had Miles Morales who's like, fuck, being Spider-Man's fucking cool. I can't wait to be Spider-Man. Well, more or less. That's how.
But then he starts realizing the hardships of it. And he hates it. And then he's like, he loves being Spider-Man, but hates it at the same time. Mm-hmm. He doesn't absolutely hate being Miles Morales. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so then let's go back to scenario. So you save the day, hooray, then you have to be back to being Sam. You just missed your date, and you pissed her off because you left her standing there.
I stood her up.
You stood her up. Now she doesn't want to talk to you ever again.
Her name's Janine.
Her name's Janine.
She's 54.
All right.
She just got off. She just made it to her. She just got off her yoga class.
Hot yoga.
Her hot yoga class. She just took a shower, so she's a little wet.
I don't want to talk about it.
And she's retired.
I don't want to talk about it.
What do you do?
You don't go. Okay. The one time, okay, so this is continuing off the
I like this. This is really good. I'm being dead ass. I really like this.
All right. The one time the film does punish Peter is when his special suit gets taken away, which to me just calls attention to his motivation, which the movie sells as being, I seek Tony Stark's approval because being an Avenger is awesome. The film strained so hard to never mention the origin or Uncle Ben or responsibility. There's literally no context for what to think otherwise. That's a mouthful. All right, hold on. He's just a superhero because he wants to be an Avenger. It's not enough to assume that it's to do the right thing. When this is the first in a new itinerary of Spider-Man, and the movie's told us next to nothing about why he actually puts on the costume.
It's kind of true.
He lightly tackled it in Civil War. And I thought they were going to go off from there, which would have been awesome. Because in Civil War, and like he said something like, if you don't do anything and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you. He totally alluded to like Uncle Ben or something.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he didn't do anything about the guy. Uncle Ben got shot and it happened because of him. I thought they were going to go off that.
They did not.
And they didn't.
It really pisses me off now that you mention that. And I'm trying to think if they kind of did that in Spiderverse.
I mean,
I'm just like, fuck. I can't spoil it. That's
well, lucky for you, Sam.
We're
reaching 50 minutes, and I'm gonna end the podcast here. And then if you want some spoilers for Into the Spider-Verse, don't click away just yet because we may have another hour for you. I don't know.
I hope so.
All right, everyone.
Like
thank you.
Just started.
I know that's weird. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Right Angle Show. I'm your host, of course, Right Angle, and this is your co-host,
Salmon McLovin,
and the ghost co-host, Joel and Dalfall. He'll be here next time.
Yeah,
he'll be here next time.
Hope the Eagles won though.
Hope the Eagles won. All right, guys. I'll see you around. Stick around for the spoiler session. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the spoiler section. We totally did work quiet for 5 seconds to wait for that.
What are we going to call this? The bonus section? It sounds like I just said boner section.
That's what I thought you said. We're going to call it the boner section.
The special section. That sounds worse. Fuck. We'll think of something. I mean, like, we'll like web something, this. Whatever.
For right now, I'm just calling it the spoiler section.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, spoiler section. So Miles Morales. So this is again one more big, huge spoiler warning. This is a spoiler section. If you do not want to be spoiled from Into the Spider-Verse, if you've not seen it, please go watch it. Don't let us spoil it. It's a great movie. Please give it money. It deserves it.
There was barely anybody who saw it.
So there you go. All right, spoilers start now. Okay, dude.
Prowler is heir of.
The Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle, which is not a huge spoiler because that's, like in the comics.
If you've read the comics,
if you read them,
because I know one of our friends didn't know.
But spoiler alert from what Sam was alluding to earlier in the podcast, fucking it gets really real because Kingpin like gats him down in the back with the most powerful gunshot noise in Dolby Theater.
Yeah, it was fucking
and like
real.
And he just dies in front of Miles, and then like Uncle Ben does, I guess, and then he swings away.
With Prowler.
With the Prowler on his shoulders. And he drops off by an alleyway where he can talk to Uncle Aaron. And Uncle Aaron, that was emotional too. And Uncle Aaron's like, you're the best of all of us. Because Uncle Aaron became a thug. And then he was like telling him, like, you're doing the right thing. You know?
Sorry, I just laughed. Uncle Aaron became a thug.
Uncle Aaron became a thug.
Can I just say, Uncle Aaron's crib is really fucking nice.
He has an awesome crib.
I know, he's got a punching bag in there.
Well, he makes bank. You know what he does?
Yeah, he fucking robs people and kills people.
He works for the Kingpin. He gets bank. But yeah, no. But the thing that made it sad was he witnessed his uncle die. And not only that, but then his dad, who obviously is, and the uncle and his dad are brothers, saw him and doesn't know it's Miles yet as Spider-Man. And so he's like, put your hands up. And then he was like, oh my God, it's my dad.
And he thought Spider-Man killed.
Yeah, well, he must have thought Spider-Man killed Uncle Aaron. And then he put on his mask and turned invisible and got away. And then his dad then witnessed his brother dead. And then he started tearing up too. And that's when it leads to that really emotional scene. Yeah. Where he was like crying at the door, which made me sad as hell too. When the dad was actually kind of crying for Miles, he was like, talking about his uncle. Oh, it was so sad. Oh, so emotional.
It was really, but I'm just trying to think if that, is that Miles' fault though for his uncle dying?
It's not Miles' fault at all. That's the thing. It's not Miles' fault. It's
but
just,
he feels guilty.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel like no matter what the situation is, if your like loved one dies in your arms, you kind of feel guilty afterwards.
I'm just trying to think Miles' consequences in the Spider-Verse movie.
Just consequences?
Yeah.
Spider-Man shouldn't have consequences. He should have a suit that does everything for him.
I thought you were being real there for a second. I'm just trying to think. Well, it is an origin story, so I guess I can't give it too much
Like one like little consequence is
he's
like
not Spider-Man yet.
Is how he like leaving the school, and even that kicked him in the ass earlier.
Okay, that's true.
Because like the security officer was chasing him down, and be like, "I know you skipped school, Morales." And also like a big thing that shows how rough his life is, kind of, is how he had to move to that new preppy school, and he's like,
and he's super stressed,
and he's really stressed out. Yeah. And like the consequences too, like he can't control his powers yet, and so he feels rejected by his own spider family at first.
And, yeah, that's true.
And like he's like, this sucks. I hate being it.
Okay, no, I can see that now. And I just had trouble seeing the consequences of that movie. Like,
well, he wants to prove himself. Well, he's in an area where he just wants to prove himself so bad as being a Spider-Man. He's like,
because he's grown up in a world where there is a Spider-Man. Everybody wants to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's like,
the message in that movie, which you were super happy about,
love, was because Stan Lee's number one thing is that anyone could wear the mask.
I'm so glad you talked about that because it didn't really cross my mind until you said it, which is.
He said it in the end of the movie, how like he said it, anyone can wear the mask. You can wear the mask. I like that because that's the thing that everyone loves Spider-Man about. Is because Spider-Man's character with the guy Peter Parker, but in reality, every time we see Spider-Man on screen, that could be you. You know what I mean? Exactly. That could be you swinging through the city.
That's the whole point why there's so many versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's supposed to cover like everyone.
Also, Stan Lee's scene was so sad.
Oh my god!
Even though Sony totally
this is the spoiler section, obviously, but like it literally start with "I'm so sad. I'm sorry that he's gone," or something like that.
Him and I were best friends.
Yeah, I was like, "This is the saddest shit."
I was like, "That's his favorite character."
I know, I'm like,
of all time.
This is the saddest shit ever.
It's just it also was funny at the same time because he was like, Miles was like, "Can I get a refund if it doesn't fit?" He's like, "It always fits."
It's like, when the one that doesn't fit, it's like, "Oh, it always fits."
And then the sign says no refunds.
And then his teeth dinged. It's like ding.
But I don't think Sony meant for that to be
obviously not. No one thought he was.
It just worked out.
No, yeah, it just
for it being unfortunately for Stan Lee dying, it worked out for the movie to make it feel a lot more emotional.
Yeah.
But no. What else? What else happened in that movie? Spider-Man Noir was so fucking funny.
I have a pop right there of him.
It's fucking. He was. Fuck. Nicolas Cage. Robert didn't tell me that. I didn't. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I didn't know that Nicolas Cage was going to be in the movie until Rob told me, and when I was like, "No, he's not in the movie. Stop telling me that. Like, that's just a lie." And then I watched the trailer again. I could hear it. I was like, "This is going to be awesome."
Oh, dude! So excited. Every time he was on screen and said some shit, I laughed my ass off.
Fucking funny.
Every time he was like, I felt bad because Peter Parker, played by John, I don't know if I forgot his name.
Stamos.
John Stamos, I think. I don't know.
It was not John Stamos. It was the guy. So
he's a hilarious comedian.
He's the guy. If you've ever seen the first Jurassic World movie, he's the guy in the IT room wearing the glasses. And
he's not.
That's
Spider
him.
Pig.
Oh, Spider Pig?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about. I didn't know you were talking about Peter Parker.
I'm talking about Peter Parker.
You mean John Mulaney?
Yeah, John Mulaney I love.
He's funny.
But he wasn't that funny.
He didn't have a lot of lines in that movie, in my opinion.
I'm telling you, everything Nicolas Cage was
so fucking funny. It's because it's Nicolas Cage.
Because Nicolas Cage is already over dramatic as hell.
So
with Noir being over dramatic as hell, it just perfectly works.
I think this role really fit him.
It was the perfect role for Nicolas Cage.
It was.
I want him to have the standalone.
That would be awesome. Really bad. Also,
you know what I'm about to say, I think. I want this to be a standalone movie with the character of Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, it hopefully will be.
Because I love... So if you didn't know, the extra credit scene... One of them was Stan Lee as a homage, and Stan Lee to Steve Ditko. Bless their heart. It was awesome. But the main one that actually involves the movie was 2099, which is probably my favorite Spider-Verse character.
It's
my favorite one's Peter. Obviously, my number one Spider-Man's original Spider-Man.
I appreciate Miles more now.
That's about it for my spoilers.
2099 was the extra credit scene, and it was really fucking cool because they had a 1962
67?
67.
It was a badass reference to the original cartoon.
Like, why are you pointing at me? It's like the meme of the two Spider-Men pointing at each other, but one of the Spider-Men
They're pointing at me first. It's like, why are you pointing at me? It's like, I'm pointing at you because you're pointing at me.
And then the cop's like, they're both Spider-Man. Which one I shoot? And then Jay Jones is like, the one that's Spider-man, of course.
Shoot Spider-Man.
That is so fucking funny. But Yeah, I think that basically wraps everything up.
I know. I want to talk about this more in depth with Joel and Delph.
Yeah, I think we can talk about Spider-Man forever.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey guys, thanks for watching the spoiler section. It was about 10 minutes long or less, but it was just a little section I wanted to talk about in the Spider-Verse. What's your guys' opinion? Please leave it in the comment section below. Give us a like, subscribe. Right now we're trying out the YouTube thing because eventually we are going on to iTunes eventually, and
hopefully
when we do, I'll let you guys know. Follow the meme page. That's me. I am Spider-Man. I'm 90s Spider memes.
What we also didn't get to do is do the question section, so make sure you guys send questions.
Oh, yeah. Follow 90s Spider memes because I always post, not always, but sometimes post a Q&A that I answer during the podcast. So, if you'd like to be in the podcast for Q&A, let me know. All right, guys. Thanks for watching or listening, whatever you're doing. And I hope I get to see you again on the next Right Angle show. This is Right Angle. Signing. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Signing off. I don't know how to end this podcast.